aka DJ Full Exposure, and we're back with Industry Exposed. Anyway, welcome back to Industry Exposed. I am so excited for our first episode of real information where I get to give you guys advice, tips, tricks, and everything you need. Now, today's episode, we're going to be starting with how to get started in modeling. Yes, so this is something that a lot of people ask me questions about. I hope you guys are prepared. I have a lot of information for you guys today. Please take the time now to get your pens, your papers, your notebooks, your notepads, because you're going to want to take notes, or you can just review the video as many times as you want. Whatever, I don't mind that either. Here's some of the things that we're going to talk about today. So we're going to talk about building your portfolio as a new model, what a strong portfolio consists of. We're going to talk about finding an agency. If you're interested, we're going to look at the different international markets and compare them because they each have different preferences for their models and stuff like that. We're going to look at social media for models. So what hashtags to use, who to follow, how to get more followers. We're going to look at living on your own as a model. So whether you're in the model apartment or you're living by yourself. And we're going to wrap it up, and I'm going to invite you guys to ask me more questions if you have any further questions about the topic. But for now, let's get started. You want to be on the cover of Elle, you want to be on the cover of Vogue, you want to be on the cover of Harper's Bazaar, Cosmopolitan, I can go on. You want to walk the fashion shows of Marc Jacob, Dior, Balmain, I can go on. It sounds intriguing, right? So I want to help you guys. First, let's take a few steps back. Before you can grace any cover, before you can walk any runway, there's certain things you have to do to establish credibility with yourself as a model. First things first, establish and build your portfolio. It's the first thing, and it's the easiest thing, believe it or not, for models to be able to do by yourself without an agency, without any help. I'm going to tell you tips and tricks to help you get it on the cheapest dime, and to get it perfect the first time, so that when you're in front of these casting directors or these agents, that they're really impressed. Got you. I got you. Keep listening. So first things first, what is important and what helps with a strong portfolio for a model? One thing that you should know is that being successful as a model means that you have a strong portfolio. Being successful in the fashion industry means that you have a strong portfolio. So the first, you need to work with quality photographers. Quality photographers. I only repeated that last part because you can't, not on any image is going to be acceptable enough to be put in your professional modeling portfolio. That's all. So there's a couple different ways that you can find these quality photographers. There's Facebook groups, where there could be, and you can find it local to your market. So it can be Los Angeles photographers and models, or Cincinnati photographers and models. And it's a good way to network and just meet up, so you can find the jobs that are close and local in your market. And you can actually start building your portfolio that way as well. So there's Facebook groups, there's model forums like Model Mayhem. There may be other ones, but that's a very popular one that a lot of models get experience and network and get to collab with other, makeup artists and photographers on there. So it's a very good source. Another thing you want to do is you want to book creative work with photographers. So you want to be able to show you have range. Anyone can stand behind a wall and smile, but where's the range of you as a model? What makes you different from Sally down the street who can smile behind her fence? So you want to book creative work, show range, show that you're marketable. We're going to talk more about that later, but book creative work. Next, you're going to want to practice taking digitals. So digitals are like headshots for models. So it's not creative work, it's not editorial, it's not anything you would see in magazines. Stumbling. It's very plain face. You have minimal to no makeup at all. I would say you have no makeup at all. They want to see your features. They want to see your body. When you're wearing clothes, they're most likely all black, male and female, and they're form-fitting because they want to see your shape. They want to see your features without makeup, without Photoshop. They want to see who you are as a model and your features and who you are as a person in real life, real time, whatever. So digitals are that. So practice taking your digitals. You can look them up on Google. You can even see some of the digitals from your favorite fashion models like Kendall Jenner or Cara Delevingne, Heidi Klum, Tyra Banks. All the Google is a great source. Next, you're going to want to practice making expressions and posing. So what someone told me when I was growing up modeling is to look for 5 images in a magazine and then see how you can blend them together, and then those are poses. So for example, let's say I pick out one image where the girl has her hand on her chin and she's just like this smiling. And then I pick out another image where the girl has her arm raised and she's smiling. So for example, something in between that would be, let's say my arm is right here. So I can then put my hand right here. I can put both hands up. I can raise one hand up, turn to the side, turn to the other side. You see the poses until I get to the other pose I saw, the second pose that I picked out of the 5. So that's in a way you want to definitely practice your expressions and poses in the mirror, whatever. You want to feel comfortable. You want to know what you look like. You know, I think I make a face where I do something with my chin sometimes, and I learned that from practicing in the mirror. So definitely like don't think anything of it. Don't think you're going to look weird or anything. Next, you're going to want to have to study professional models' portfolios. Like I said, you can Google some of your favorite fashion models' portfolios and see how theirs looks. I'm not going to say mimic it, but you can see what a professional portfolio looks for examples. Yeah, I think that's just a good resource. Like, resources are out there. Learn, baby, learn. Second to lastly, learn from mistakes. So in your research, which you should always do, when you're looking at these other models' portfolios, if you see something that's maybe a little off to or whatever, learn from mistakes. Even from videos like this, and I can tell you some of the mistakes I've done, learn from them. I'm telling you so you can learn and so you don't have to make the same mistake I did. Lastly, listen to advice. It doesn't even have to totally come from me, but you want to definitely listen to advice of people who are in the field that you want to work in, whether it's agent, cast director, or models, whatever. Listen to advice. It's going to come in handy. It's going to be helpful. Yeah, it's just, you can't go wrong. When a model's portfolio is filled with quality photos, it shows 2 things. It indicates that the model's professional and that they know what they're doing. So what is a quality image, and how can you get it? Before you freak out, I want to help you out. So quality image is high resolution. A high resolution photo. That's the first thing. It can't be blurry. It can't be, I don't know, high resolution. I feel like it's just pretty standard. Next, a portfolio is not a standard 8.5 by 12 piece of paper. It's not, 8.5 by 11. You're like, your piece of papers are big. It's actually a standard portfolio image size is 9 by 12. 9 inches by 12 inches. So like I said again, not 8.5 by 11, which is a normal size piece of paper. Portfolio images are going to be 9 by 12, okay? So that's something just to know. Also, a good portfolio shows that you're marketable. It shows that you're marketable. Like I say, you want to have range. So if you do editorial, you want to have different makeup looks, different, like I said, it just has to show range. You can't just be every image of your portfolio just you standing behind a blank wall, or you know what I'm saying? Show that you're marketable. Next, you're going to have to show that you're edgy and artistic. Again, this is just showing that you have range, showing that you're not just one look, you're not just one type, that you can do this, you can be in this magazine, you can do that look, you can be in that runway walk for this designer. You want to be marketable, you want to be edgy and artistic. Those 3 things also make sure that you're publishable. So you want to be, I can see this girl in my campaign, or I can see this girl in my magazine. You want them to think that. Next, you want to be relevant. So there's different categories. You may be commercial model, you may be lifestyle, you may be editorial. If you're commercial, your images should not reflect something that's an editorial model. If you're lifestyle, your images should not reflect a commercial model, vice versa. You want it to be relevant to the type of modeling or market that is good for you and that's working for you. So that's something that you get more into with agencies, but And also, lastly, a good quality image shows that you're influential. I won't touch too much on that, but it goes along with being marketable, being edgy and artistic, being relevant, publishable. It all you want to show the range in your portfolio. A great portfolio consists of 25 quality portfolio images, at least 25. So out of the quality photos or quality photographers and creative work that you're booking with these photographers, 25 of them makes up a good portfolio. Next, you'll need at least 10 amazing digitals, which I'll gladly show you guys examples of. So 25 images, quality images, 10 digitals, which can be just taken on your camera or whatever. Those have to be as quality. They want them to be more real life. So like selfie, but it's not a selfie. But like that quality, you know, so it can be very raw, unedited. They want that actually for digitals. Next, you'll need one walking video. So just a video straight on, walking towards the camera. Show your walk, show your groove, you know. Don't do any of that, but yeah, show your walk, show your personality in your walk. They love that too. No one wants a model that walks down like this. No, please. Please save yourself and every designer. Next, you'll want a posing video. So just a video, I think they can be 1 minute each, walking, posing, showing what you got. They can probably even be less than that with the walking one. Yeah, just simple posing video. And lastly, a good model or whatever has open availability. There's no use in doing this if, you know, they don't think they can book you because you're always busy, or you have this going on, you have that going on. It's okay to have a life and have things going on, but just make sure you have open availability. That's just the number one rule for any creative in the industry. Be open, be available. It's just our work, and if you want to be booked, and if if an opportunity comes, you just got to be available. You got to be ready too. So, yeah. Here are the reaching out do's and don'ts when you're contacting photographers, when you're contacting stylists or makeup artists that you want to work or shoot with. Models should be shooting as much as possible. That is one thing I want to. When you shoot as much as possible, you're able to improve, and you're able to learn the trade, and you're also able to build your portfolio. So those are just 3 reasons why you should always be shooting. Improve, learn your trade, and build your portfolio. Very important. So here's some do's with reaching out to photographers or other creatives in the fashion industry that you want to work with. A do is you can message them on Instagram. I've messaged people on Instagram. It's very personal, and also it works. I mean, the worst they can do is not respond. In that case, you move on, and it didn't hurt your career. They just didn't respond. You can also message on Facebook. Like I said, through these model forums, a lot of times I did message them on Facebook. Hey, sent you my info. Hey, if I saw them post something looking for models or whatever. It is okay to also find their email from their website. That's good. And also you can contact them on Model Mayhem. Like I said, forums, Facebook, whatever. You can contact them in that. Don'ts. These are things I would not do ever, ever, ever. You should never do these don'ts. Don't ever email them off of Craigslist. Don't ever meet a photographer by yourself, especially, if you're uneasy, whatever. I've met photographers by myself. It's at your discretion. But especially if you're under 18, don't you dare meet a photographer by yourself. I'm sorry, don't ever. Not everyone has good intentions. I'm just gonna say that. So even though they claim to be a photographer, I'm sorry, not everyone has good intentions. You gotta be careful out here, people. Don't be so desperate to be a model that you're risking your safety or you're risking your health in any way. Be smart, think. If you have, questions, or you don't feel right about something, then yeah, bring someone along with you. And if they're uneasy about that and they're like, oh, sorry, I just want you by yourself, don't go. I'm just gonna say don't go, because any good photographer wouldn't mind if you have one person there. That was a lot, but I just wanted to stress that safety-wise, don't ever, if you're uneasy, don't ever do that by yourself. And you can always bring someone. It should never be a problem, especially if you're unsafe. So I'm just saying that. Also, don't work with inexperienced talent. When you're building your portfolio, it is okay to work with people who aren't at the level of, I've been shooting for Vogue for 25 years. It's okay to not get photographers like that. But the only problem with working with someone inexperienced is that you're not really learning. And if you do learn, you may not be learning the right tools or the right advice or the right, key things for the industry for you. So that's the only problem with working with people that are inexperienced, that you may be getting the wrong advice or being told the wrong things. That's all. Re-edit. Yeah. Don't ever, this is considered rude. Very rude, a slap in the face. Don't ever re-edit completed photos by photographers. If they send it to you and they say it's edited, that's it. You don't have to post it. If you don't like it, you don't have to post it. Don't ever re-edit it to post it. That is rude. Rude, rude, rude. That is a big no-no. Big no-no for models. Don't do that. And lastly, I think this will be kind of obvious, but who knows? Don't ever shoot when you're sick, especially with this COVID going around. Don't shoot when you're sick, just period. One, you're not going to look your best. That's for damn sure. When I've been sick, or even when I've, been, maybe sipping on a little something, my face changes, and it's things that either my eyes are more droopy or I don't know, stuff like that. But don't ever shoot when you're sick or not fully your best. I'm just gonna say that. You'll thank me later, especially when you see the photos after. So first thing you want to do when finding an agency, you want to do your research. That means check out their website. You're checking out their client list. You're checking out the brands they worked with. And not getting the contract you want does not mean you're not a good model, okay? But you should always, like I said, do your research. And also different markets have different busy seasons. So know the market you're in, know the busy seasons. Just like I said, it's all part of doing your research. I like to bring things in full circle. And also different markets have different preferences and requirements for the models too. So I'm going to talk about the different international markets and compare it to the market I'm in, which is North America. Yeah. And also getting signed to an agency does not guarantee you will work. Yeah, you can be signed to an agency and be sitting on their shelf for as long as you let them keep you there. What will guarantee you work is how hard you work. So just getting signed to an modeling agency doesn't guarantee that, okay, I can put my feet up and relax. No, it's a continued hustle. If anyone told you any different, it's a lie, or they're just a special case. I'm gonna tell you that. But for the bulk of models, the majority, they're still working. And if they're not still working and hustling for themselves, then they're just sitting, dusting on the shelves of their modeling agencies. So you definitely have to work for yourself and do work. Just saying that, okay? Okay, you guys. I know you're gonna do your work, but I just like to let you know just in case. People are putting out lies out there. Okay. Also, you won't always travel with models that live or from your agency, okay? So you won't always travel or live with models from your agency, just to let you know that. So you may, when you do get to travel as a model, you may be getting models from all over the world, or which is cool. You get to, see people from all over the world. Every day is different as a model. Every day is different. Lastly, two important things to know when looking for agencies or even having international contracts. A typical contract is 60 to 90 days. That's just typical. Maybe longer, maybe shorter, whatever. But typical international contract, 60 to 90 days. Now, agency rate, because agencies do take their portion, generally is anywhere from 40 to 50%. Some may not be that high, but it's going to be in that range, 40 to 50%. So now let's talk about some of the different markets. I'm going to reach on or touch on 4 different markets: Asia, Europe, Australia, and North America. And we're going to compare them, their requirements, their model preferences, and stuff like that, and see what's different about them. So the first market I want to look at is Asia. Their high fashion cities are Tokyo and Singapore, okay? And their commercial cities are Seoul and Hong Kong. Female models in Asia are typically 5'6" and up. Male models in Asia are typically 10. No, I'm sorry, I said 10. Woof! 5'10" and up. They're 10 foot. Oh. When you get a contract in the Asian market, typically they do advanced flight and living accommodation. So they'll take care of that, typically. Their maximum measurements are 26. I'm sorry, I'm messing up. It's 36, 26, 36 are the maximum measurements in the Asian market. So that's actually not bad. That's actually slightly, an inch bigger than the North American market. Now let's look at Europe. So for the European market, their high fashion cities are France, London, and Milan. Also with their commercial city being Milan as well. We all know Milan's a high fashion city, but it's also commercial as well. So female models in the European market are typically 5'8" and up, where male models in the European market are 6 foot and up. So models often pay for their flights with the European market. So typically it's not covered. And the maximum measurements or preferences for their models in the European market are 35, 25 waist, and 35 hips. So 35, 25, 35. Okay, where we saw in the Asian market, it was 36, 26, 36. Now, let's look at North America, which the market I'm in. So the high fashion city in North America is New York, as we all know. But we have a lot of smaller commercial cities. So we have San Francisco, actually, Portland, Miami, and Los Angeles. So female models in the North American market are typically 5'8" and up, where male models are typically 6 foot and up. So models here need reference letters for visas. So if they want to travel internationally, they need reference letters for their visas. Models working in the US typically do make the most money. I'll say that with a grain of salt, because I know it depends what market you fit into. So you may do well in the North American market, or you may not do well in the North American market and go to the Asian market and make way more money over there. I actually had a friend who did that. I had a friend, she was a model here in North America. She went to Japan, made way more money in Japan. And yeah, so it just depends. Really just know your market, know, what market caters to you, and then just go off of that. So it doesn't really mean you have to be in the US to make the most money. So the maximum measurements for the North American market are 36, 26, 36. So it's not, not bad. It's changing. Australia, this is a newer market. Their top cities, or their high fashion city, is Sydney, and their commercial city being Melbourne. So like I said, it's a newer market, but the requirements are pretty much similar. So the female models are typically 5'8" and up, and the male models are, again, typically 6 foot and up. Their maximum measurements reflect also the Asian, North America, and no, not European, because that was a little bit. But their maximum measurements for models will be 36, 26, 36. Almost like a tongue twister. But yeah, so now we got to look at the different markets. We got to touch base on finding an agency. We got to really talk about how to develop a strong portfolio. Okay, so social media as a model. Here's some things that, if you want to have a really wow presence as a model, I'm just going to help you out with your social media a little bit. Why not? So only high quality photos. Only high quality photos. If you, like I said, you don't have to wow them, but if you want to wow them, your social media should look professional. And high quality photos on any professional business page you can see, they have high quality photos. So you're no different. You are a brand. You are your own company. You are your own entity. You are selling your experience. So your social media should reflect it. But also some things you can put on are BTS photos, or if you're traveling while modeling, you can definitely put photos of you arriving at the airport or departure. You can do volunteer work, beautiful photos of nature or hobbies you have, skylines, so they can get to know the real you. So yeah, there's some things, but those are just a couple ideas of things you can put on. But like I said, emphasize high quality photos, okay? Also, hashtags to use. Here's some good hashtags. You can do model, designer, photographer, moi, which is makeup artist. Or you can type out makeup artist, hair, fashion, etc. Those are some fun hashtags. You can put the city you worked in for the hashtag. You can put the agency that you're with if you're with an agency for the hashtag. And you can put common words related to the photo, for the hashtag. So yes, those are some good things to help you with your social media. Also, who to follow. So let's say you can do a whole account if you want a personal, whatever, but for your model account, definitely follow top and local photographers. So you get them off of these forums, like I said, or doing your research. Other models, it's also part of networking. Top international agencies, or just agencies in your market or your city as well. That would be good to follow. Magazines, makeup artists, hairstylists, stylists, designers, etc. Those are all good people to follow related to your field. So yeah, so how to get more followers? Use hashtags for sure. Post often. A lot of social media platforms, they like to reward you for using it. So the more you post, the more people see your stuff, the more they, the algorithms of it all. But yeah, so post often, like other people's photos. That's just part of the engagement. Engage on the platform. Like I said, follow top and local artists, whether they're hairstylists, makeup artists, photographers, whatever. Like, definitely do your research, know who's big players in the field, and also like seek out inspiring people who are going to come up with you too, because those are people you're most likely be collaborating with to make stuff happen, to bring on a whole nother generation of the fashion industry. So that's just something to keep in mind. You can post photos on Facebook. That's a good way to get more followers, and also just post industry related images. Then you'll find people who, like you, are aspiring and are inspired by what you're doing. So lastly, what I'm going to talk about is just living as a model, whether you're living by yourself or you get to live in a model apartment. So first I want to talk about the model apartment. So apartments typically have 2 to 4 models per bedroom, and roommates are from all over the world. Like I said, again, you won't be always traveling or living with models that are just in your agency. So you're meeting people all over the world. So it is the model's responsible to have their own food. They're not going to provide you food. If a housekeeper comes, it's usually once a week, you know, generally speaking. Washing machines are usually in all the apartments, so that's there. Kitchen, living room, and bathrooms are shared. That's something just to keep in mind. These are model apartments, so they have these all over the world. So whether you're doing a contract in Asia or doing a contract in New York City, you probably have the option to live in a model apartment because it's cheaper than buying whatever in that city alone. Blanket, sheets, pillows, and cookingware are available. So those are the only things that really will be there for you. Like I said, food and everything else is really on you. But some give you a per diem little stipend for food or stuff like that. So it all just depends on your contract. So living on your own as a model, bring your own toiletries, shampoo, conditioners. Definitely bring your own Tupperware for meal prepping because you're going to be on the go. I think it's a good idea. I don't meal prep personally, but I think if you're on the go and just going on a lot of go-sees and you're in and out real quick, it's good to just have meal prep. And a way to still stay healthy while being on the go. Learn important words and phrases and numbers in the local language. So if you're in Asia, learn some phrases. It will help you. Yeah, not everyone. I mean, I know people want to think everyone knows English, but I mean, also you should just want to immerse yourself in the culture. That's part of learning. That's part of honing your craft. You know, while you're there, it's taking on the full experience. So definitely pick up some things. It makes you diverse. It makes you, then maybe they want to call you back and like, hey, she was really acclimated, or she really worked hard and we like her over here. Let's call her back. And then so, you know, you never know. Just try. Just try. Definitely you want to keep your home agency's address and your apartment address on you at all times. You just never know. So it's good to, you know, have it on you as a resource. You can, you know, don't overpack. Don't overpack, girls. Only bring necessities. You don't want to have or be responsible for keeping track of too many things. Because like I said, you are getting roommates from all over the world. So you know, these are people in different personalities from all over the world too. So you never know. So just don't overpack. Only bring necessities that you need for however long your contract lasts. And lastly, respect local customs and laws. Just be respectful. Learn the traditions, learn the culture, do your research. That's just it. That's just being a part of it. That's all I had for you guys today. Like I said, I know that was a lot. If you liked what you saw, next video, we're going to be giving away more information on getting started on another industry. So please definitely tune in, like, subscribe, share, and yes, like I said, if you have any other questions, definitely hit me up on my Instagram, DM me, and I'll be glad to help you guys out in any way I can. Thank you.